we're Asians. If one brown guy goes and starts fighting, does that reflect on every brown guy in the world? No. There's bad eggs in every group and religion.
Carry on. Sister, join us with the discussion.
Yeah. They went off again.
So this is what the sister was talking about.
Want to read it again?
Surah.
Oh yeah, you can keep it for now. Yeah.
6842?
Yeah. So what I was telling my brother here, that Allah is going to uncover his shin
Yeah.
on the day of judgment.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the believer, they will come to know Allah
Yeah. From his shape.
by his shin.
Yeah.
Yeah? Am I right?
Yes.
Yeah?
Well,
So-
not by
Okay.
the second bit, but about his shin, yes. But let me just clarify one thing.
Okay, go ahead.
In the Quran and in Hadith, everything is about Islam. It's something called context. Context, right?
Oh, sure,
And of
sure,
course,
sure.
they
Yeah,
don't,
it should be
not
context.
everything is literal. Not everything is literal, right? If I see someone is as fast as a cheetah, do I mean he runs at 100 kilometers per hour? No, it's a metaphor, right? So in
Is
this,
it a metaphor?
a metaphor or a simile, whatever
No.
you want to say, right?
Is this metaphor here?
Which one? Show me exactly what you're talking
The
about.
shin.
Yes.
Is shin a metaphor?
It's, maybe I'm choosing the wrong word, but it's not literal. You're taking it literally.
So what is then his uncovering?
Is if you read the can I hold it?
Yeah.
So if you read the whole all the way down to I have the same one at home. I know it's the right one. If you read down to number 44,
So
yeah.
if it is metaphorical,
I'm telling
what
you.
is it he's uncovering?
But I'm telling you, if you read down right to number 44, you can see that it's metaphor. The disbelievers in this world, their eyes are covered like with a shroud. Yeah, if you know about Islam, you know about the shroud. They're covered, yeah, in their disbelief. So, metaphorically speaking, right, what is going to happen? Their eyes humble, humiliation will cover them, and they used to be invited to prostration while they were sound. So, when they're in life, they were invited to Islam, right? To what we say the truth, yeah? But they didn't. They didn't come to it, and therefore, only at this last hour will they realize what they have missed out on.
Okay, I think Islamic brother, just a second. I think Islamic sources simply will disagree with you. Here's the reference.
Yeah.
Sahih Bukhari,
Okay.
993, 532.
Doesn't say.
Then the Almighty will come
Yeah.
to them in a shape other than, this is after like Allah asked the Jews who believes Ezra is the son of Allah, and then Christians who believe Jesus is the son of God. After that conversation, okay? Then the Almighty will come to them in the shape other than the one which they saw first time.
Yeah.
And he will say, I am your Lord. And they will say, you are not our Lord. And none will speak to him then, but the prophets. And then it will be said to them, do you know any sign by which you can recognize Allah?
Okay.
Do you know any signs by which you can recognize him? They will say, the shin.
Okay.
So, Allah will then uncover his shin, whereupon every believer will bow down before him.
Okay.
Every believer.
Now, can I ask you?
So how can this be metaphorical?
Can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a question?
No, I'm just, if you answer my question, then you can ask the question, yeah.
So, with all of this, because we're going around in circles, I've explained to him like many times now, and you come to me to explain the same thing again. What is your point? What is your broad point with this? Bring up this word. What is your issue with this verse?
I'm
or this
trying to
idea?
figure out what the shin of Allah looks like.
Why?
Believers need to recognize the shin of Allah. I'm trying to figure out, is it black, white, hair, no hair? What does it
So
look
how
like?
does this- how-
What is it so unique with the shin of Allah?
Sure.
What is it so unique with the shin of Allah that on the day of judgment, that is the sign that people will recognize Allah?
Let's assume whatever you want us to assume, right? Or whatever you think may be misconstrued in this situation. how does this point have any impact, any severe impact on how we practice our religion in this day and age, in this world, in this life?
That's not my question.
No,
So
but
that
that's
might
my
be your
question.
question. When you go home, you can reflect
No,
your
I'm
question.
asking you because that's what
so
you're bringing up.
that is your question. When you go home, you reflect on it. All I am trying to figure out the body parts of Allah.
Okay.
Okay.
But why?
So while Allah has those body parts, yet Quran says there is none like Him. So
Okay.
what is the shin of Allah is different than the shin of this gentleman.
My point again. Let's assume that.
No,
that
no,
you're saying-
just
Let's
answer.
assume that it's literal, yeah. Let's assume that it's literal, yeah. I'm not saying it is. Let's assume it's literal, okay? How does it have any impact on how we practice in this day and age, in this world?
Then
in
I
this
will
life?
ask. As I said, that's something you need to go home
But
and
you have no
reflect.
answer for it, so why are you nitpicking?
Why are you cutting off? That's something you will go home. That's something you will go home and reflect and then say, okay, Allah has body parts. First body part, Allah has shin, and on the day of judgment, Allah is using His shin Allah is taking different shapes and forms by deceiving us. Only Allah can be recognized by His shin. Then the next question is, okay, Allah has a womb. Oh, Allah has a word. Oh, Allah has this. Oh, Allah has this. Then you will start thinking about what it means when Muslim screams out, oh, there is only one God. When they say there is only one God, where the body parts of Allah and His attributes are stands. Is the body parts of Allah, those sifats of Allah are part of Allah? Are they separated from Allah? Those very, very basic questions you've got to reflect once you get home.
So-
But now let me ask my question again.
Okay.
The shin of Allah,
Okay.
which Allah on the day of judgment, after taking different shapes and forms, deceiving people and being recognized in that shin,
When
is that shin shaved, unshaved, black,
But
brown,
when
white?
to this, you're saying shape shifting in different forms.
I gave you the Sahih Bukhari
You did it.
reference.
Okay, then can you
I
please
did.
show me?
I repeat it again.
Okay, no, let me read it. Let me see it myself and show you exactly what you're talking about.
Sahih Bukhari, 993,
I'm gonna take your
532.
Open your.
I don't have a battery.
Sahih Bukhari,
Okay.
992.
But when
Sorry,
you say shape-shifting,
993. He's
you
gonna
say
come.
shape-shifting? Uh-huh.
He's gonna come from the form which was different before, and then now he's coming, and then now, how do you
Before we
recognize
talk
Allah? How do you recognize Allah?
How do you recognize
What is the
Allah?
sign? From his
how do you
shin.
recognize Allah?
From his shin.
How do you recognize Allah? On the day of judgment, you will know Allah. That's a very irrelevant question to
I'm,
ask.
I'm sorry, that's not what the hadith says. Hadith says,
It's a very- it's a very
no,
relevant question to ask.
listen. Then the Almighty will come to them in a shape
In a
other
shape.
than
Other than-
the one
Yeah.
which they saw first time.
Yeah.
Allah is not just changing shapes and forms, changing shapes and
No,
forms.
before, no.
So he revealed himself first and then went home or went to his bed, changed his shape, and
Yeah.
then come back again.
Yeah.
That's not what it says. And again,
I read it again
But that's
without
not-
my interpretation.
go on. By your
Then
interpretation, go on.
the
As you said.
Almighty.
This is
Is it
the
by
Sahih
your-
Bukhari.
Because I said Allah will go home and then change.
you're not letting me make
so
my
that's
point.
not the hadith says.
Let me-
So
let me
I
make
read the
my point.
hadith. Then the Almighty will come
Okay.
to them in
Yes.
a shape other than the one which they saw the first time. He's going to come to them from different shape, the one which they saw first time. And he will say, I am your Lord. And they will say, no, you are not our Lord. And none will speak to him then but the prophets. And it will be said to them, do you know any sign by which you can recognize him?
Okay. So in answer,
They will say,
go on.
the shin. So then Allah will uncover his shin, whereupon every believer will bow down before him.
Okay.
And there will remain those who used to bow down before him just for showing off or gaining and reputation, and then it goes
Now,
on.
what I don't dispute, right, and what I'm not disputing is anything you've read out. What I dispute is your understanding and your own interpretation of what you have read.
Okay.
And that's what we're
So
trying to
then-
the uncle. Please,
then help me out.
Please,
She is not
I didn't interrupt
interpreting.
you. I didn't interrupt you. You got
No,
to
she is
interrupt
not.
me.
So we need to be learned. I am here to be corrected if I am misrepresenting.
So, as I was
Actually,
saying,
maybe we can get this gentleman. We can see his shin. and then compare his shin to Allah's shin.
Again, Okay. As I was saying, what I am disputing is your interpretation of what you have read. And
she is not interpreting. No. She is not. She is reading as your scholars are written.
Exactly. So
she is not doing anything.
If you let me finish.
She is not adding or subtracting from.
But that's not what I said. I didn't say that.
No. So you said she is interpreting. No, she is not.
Uncle, please, that's not what interpretation means.
She is reading as it is written.
That's not what interpretation means. But I understand your point. So, to continue what I was saying, what I'm saying is your interpretation. So, to continue my what I'm saying, are you a scholar of Islam? I just want a yes or no. I'm not trying to attack it. I just want a yes or no.
Please make your case. I will
respond.
Yes or no? Make your case. I will respond your points.
Okay, so no. Neither of us are a student of knowledge. Neither of us have spent years learning and teaching.
Scholar?
Neither
was
of
Muhammad
us.
a scholar? Or Abu Bakr was scholar? Or Usman was scholar? Or other Khalifas, they were scholars?
Neither of us have spent years, months neither of us have devoted our lives to learning about Islam or whatever and teaching it, right? Therefore, it's not up to us to explain the interpretation of something.
Okay.
Because as I've said, in the Quran, in the Sunnah, to understand, as you know, to understand the Quran, not all of it, and this was my point with you as well, is that it's not literal in every sense. Yes, there are literal senses. Yes, there are places where it's literal, but you need to identify when a context must be applied and when you must not take stuff literally. Therefore,
Sir, what's your name?
Habib.
Habib, okay.
Therefore, context must be, you must be able to recognize when context can be applied.
Okay, let me step in.
But
finish your sentence and then I'll step in.
Of course. And that is why whenever you learn or you teach Islam, you don't take the book and read blind like that. You don't take any sunnah, any hadith and read blind like that. You must learn and teach and read under the guidance of a learned individual and infer meaning and the correct interpretation from that.
Let me respond to that. So, first of all, you are agreeing with me that Allah has a shin. You are agreeing with me that Allah comes in different shapes and forms. And then lastly, people will recognize him from the shin he has when he uncovers his shin. So let me finish. So that's all the point I am making. Okay? Allah has a problem with his body parts. Muslims have a problem with the sifats of Allah. Muslims have a problem with the attributes of Allah. So that's something you need to hold on. Regarding your question on the scholarship, Quran is. I didn't ask you. Please provide for me. Why did I don't know what is the it's not for what is the chains in this hadith? Or I didn't ask you other very basic questions. All I ask you, what is the shin of Allah look like? And all I asked you, can I just ask you to record this gentleman's face? If something happens to me, he's one of the person Mr. Policeman needs to check him out. Yes, I'm so scared of you.
Please, we're trying to debate. Please.
Quran is explained.
One second. Please just calm down, Akhi. We're trying to talk, yeah? In a nice way. You're disturbing, you're being very rude and very aggressive. I've had my time with you. You're a Muslim and I'm a Muslim. Do not reflect badly on our religion. We're trying to... Huh? What did you say? Speak loudly. Why are you quiet? Why are you shy? Please, Akhi, let us speak nicely. You are my brother, he's my brother, okay? I'm not trying to have an issue with you. Please, let us speak without disturbing, okay? Let us speak and I will speak. Huh? Please, Akhi, I'm asking you. I'm not threatening you, I'm requesting. Yeah? Huh? Thank you very much. Please, would you mind? So you would mind just being quiet, yeah? Sorry? Please, yeah? Thank you very much.
What a creepy mindset those Muslims have.
It's not, I'm Muslim. You calling me creepy though?
I didn't call you.
You said those Muslims.
Yeah, those two. People knew who I was talking about. So,
please.
Quran identifies itself as well detailed, well explained, and there is no contradiction in it. So therefore, my very basic question should be answered at this stage from well detailed, well explained Quran.
way did he go?
Maybe you
Which way
need to
did he
walk
go?
away. They are just having group discussions. I think you need to walk away at this stage, sir.
I need to what?
You should walk away because they are having group discussions and
Fine,
usually it doesn't turn up
fine,
nicely.
It's fine, it's fine.
It's fine.
My guys are here. My guys are here. Please continue.
Your dad? Your dad is not
Please
gonna
continue. Please
Yeah,
continue.
so
I'm fine.
Quran is well detailed, well explained.
Give me just 1 second. Nick, give it a second. Yeah, please.
Quran is well detailed, well explained, and there is no contradictions on it. Quran doesn't tell you this verse is taken outside of the context because I already read you the hadith. And in that two hadiths, in that hadith this verse is being referenced regarding the uncovering the shin of Allah. And my question is what does it look like for? So those very basics. And if you are pointing people to scholars to get those very basic answers, can you please point me the Quranic verse which tells you go to the scholars, because Quran tells you go to the people of the book. That's another point. And which scholar?
So can you be a bit louder, please? I can't hear.
Which scholar? So at Speaker's Corner, everyone have their own scholar. Even Sheikh Yasser Qadi, he put his life in the studying of the Quran, is under the bus at Speaker's Corner. Shabir Ali is under the bus at Speaker's Corner because one Muslim to other Muslim, one scholar to other scholar, they disagree and they do not support one another. Therefore, I don't know which scholar to go to.
Okay.
I went Muhammad. I do hope that you believe. I do hope that as a Sunni Muslim you believe Muhammad is the best scholar among all. According to Muhammad's saying, Allah is going to uncover his shin. So, however you interpreted that, because according to Hadith of Allah is doing that after coming from different shapes and forms, it's pretty clear to me that Allah is talking about physical shin. Therefore, I am curious about the body parts of Allah and the details of that. So,
yes.
Do you want to make your conclusion?
Stop it, because don't need to worry about any guys here. It's safe, it's fine.
It's not safe, sir. People try to kill me at Speaker's Corner.
Don't worry.
And they were your
There are
friends.
5 guys around you. 5 of my guys are around you, don't worry.
No,
That's
sir.
up to you though. But I promise you, before you, I'll get hurt before you.
No, sir. I don't need that. Just make your case regarding the shin of Allah. Conclusion.
A conclusion. Okay, fine. In conclusion, my point is that we as a layman cannot infer meaning from what we do not know. Such as with the example of if, let's say for example, that I take uncle's phone from him, yeah, and I go into court. Right? Will the court, let's say there's no cameras, no one saw it, me and uncle standing over there, no one saw it, and I took the phone from it. And I said, oh no, I didn't do this, I didn't do that. Maybe a number of other issues come into play. Obviously, that means you have to go to court, right? And we try to establish, did I take the phone, did I steal from him, yes or no? Does the judge just say, I know you did it, go? No. There are lawyers who infer the meaning from the law. They apply it how they take its meaning
It
and apply
says
it.
the book is fully explained and we read from the Quran and book says it is fully explained,
Yeah, I am
then
sure-
are you saying
I am sure
that,
he's gonna come to that
this Quran
part.
is not fully explained to you?
Yeah.
To you?
Therefore, he needs scholars. So I think he's going to address that.
So as I was saying, in that scenario, in the case of a court of law, right, there are lawyers and judges, those who have done it for their whole lives. They infer the meaning and they apply the meaning, right? And it's the same with religion, right? We have our scholars and our learned individuals, students of knowledge, who compile knowledge,
So
who take the knowledge.
I'll
and who share the knowledge.
disagree with you on that. In a sense, you are Sunni Muslim, correct?
I just say I'm
Yeah,
Muslim.
yeah.
but yes,
So you are
technically, yes.
Muslim. Your supreme authority is the Quran. I hope that's the case. Your supreme authority is the Quran.
Okay.
In the Quran, it says this is well detailed, well explained book. It doesn't tell you, oh, well detailed, well explained book. But when you are talking about the shin of Allah, I'll point to Sheikh X or Sheikh B. Because when you go to Sheikh A, Sheikh A says something different than Sheikh B. So therefore, you've got different schools of Islam. They are disagreeing all lots of things. Islam is like 400 years are fighting with one another. 1400 years they are fighting with one another. Can you please come to the point? How do you deal with the verses when it says this is well detailed, well explained, but in somehow we are failing to unpack what it means.
So can I ask you a question? Are you a Christian? Yeah.
I'm Christian.
So what type of Christian are you?
I'm Christian.
But if we were to, it's like I say the same thing, I'm Muslim.
I'm
But
Christian.
what denomination are you connected
I'm
to?
Christian.
So what?
I want to talk about the Shin of Allah.
So what do you think about Mennonites?
I want to talk about the
But
Shin of
no,
Allah.
but you brought up different sects in Islam. So I brought up different sects in
No,
Christianity.
I brought that up.
No.
Here's the problem. I brought that up in the intention. You've got those schools, you've got those sects, because they follow the certain scholars.
Of course.
Okay? If everyone is following the one scholar, you wouldn't have those different sects.
Of course.
So therefore, my question still stands. You need to go to the sheikhs to ask basic questions about the Shin of Allah, or answer the basic questions about the Shin of Allah. Give me the name, which scholar I should go beside Muhammad, because I went to Muhammad. Muhammad identified the Shin of Allah as like
So you're asking which-
normal shit. So which scholar you think better than Muhammad?
I never said I was a scholar. First of all, Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is not a scholar, right? Revelation came through him. He and the hadith, his sayings, came from him. He's not a scholar. Right? The onus where the
I'm a bit disappointed with that one.
where the information came from, it didn't originate from him, but where it came from, he was a vessel for this information, right? But going back to your point about different schools
So
of thought,
you've got people who knows things better than Muhammad.
I didn't say that.
So if you don't identify Muhammad as the best scholar,
I
that
said
means
he's not a scholar. That's what I said. He's not a scholar. He's a prophet. Was Jesus a scholar?
oh, Jesus is identified as a teacher as well and son of God. He
If
knows
you
all.
mean it in
Make
that
your
sense,
case.
if you mean it in the sense of a teacher,
Make your case.
if you mean it in the
Sorry, I
sense of
didn't
a
mean to
teacher,
cut.
then of course. If you mean it in the sense of someone who goes in the first meaning, no, of course not. He told us what it meant. People recorded what was taught by him to us, and of course, with the passage of history.
So this is what she is saying.
I'm getting to that.
Muhammad is the best person to explain the Quran. So she is reading Muhammad's explanation.
Of course, and that's what I'm addressing now.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm addressing now, right? With the passage of time, as with everything, right? Some basic history, right? Basic contemporary history, right? Not all the facts are there, and not all the facts will be the same in every history book. Why? Because certain people might have heard something, another person may have written something else down, and there are many different sources and stuff like that, right? And with the passage of time, of course, different sheikhs and different teachers have learned different things. Right, with the different four schools of thought which you referenced, some of them refer some hadith, some refer to other hadiths on certain rulings
Even
on the basis.
Shias and Sunnis.
Of course, all of them do.
You
on
don't
the
even agree on the biography of Muhammad.
But it's on the basis of what knowledge they believe to be true and authentic, right? And I'm not getting into the debate of what is true or what is not authentic, but to explain the way that they do that is just by, as you know, through the succession of how was, let's say, a certain hadith passed on from which individual to which individual. Was that person trustworthy? Was he trustworthy? And that is how information is passed down through the passage of time. And of course, some people may not trust certain groups, some groups may not trust other groups, right? And it is such with the passage of time, the different interpretations have emerged. However, if you look at the basis of it, the basis of religion, of what matters to you and I to the average Muslim on a day-to-day basis, how to pray 5 times a day, yeah? The very basic stuff. To give you zakat, right? To give charity. The same thing. To give zakat, charity, yeah? You know what zakat means, of course, right? To be good to your neighbors, to be good to your people.
I know you want to kind of unpack that,
stuff.
but that's not.
No, I'm not unpacking that. I'm just a very brief point, right?
All I am asking is, scholars fight with one another. They disagree with one another.
Of course.
Have you heard Yasir Qadim?
Yes.
Have you heard Shabir Ali?
No.
You haven't heard Shabir Ali?
What do you mean?
Like you haven't heard of Shabir Ali? He's another scholar. Okay.
No.
So, at Speaker's Corner, Yasir Qadi is under the bus. People hate him now.
Okay.
But before they loved him.
Okay.
Same for Shabir Ali. So
Okay.
you've got scholars who are being loved, who are being respected and followed, versus others are not. My question was to you, regarding the Shin of Allah, since you know better people who can explain the things better than Sahih Bukhari's hadith, which I read to you. What is the name you are giving me for me to go and check the shin of Allah?
Which scholar do you want to refer to?
Yeah, that's the question.
Which scholar would I recommend? First of all, I can't recommend you a scholar because I'm not no big man, right? I'm not anyone important. I can recommend you a scholar. On, it's for your views on that. But on a personal level, I can recommend one scholar who's good, Sheikh Al-Munajjid, right? Are you familiar with the Islam QA? You know I'm talking about Islam QA.
Islam QA is the website which actually recently I read the article where it was talking about lying is all right. Yes.
You may have taken out context.
No, that was a question. Can we lie to non-Muslims? And the answer was yes.
Quran from Muhammad. Yeah?
No.
From Muhammad and from the scholars.
Have you learned the Bible?
No? From the scholars.
Have you learned the Bible?
Oh yeah.
Who did you learn it from? Who did you learn it from?
We are learning by reading the Bible daily. Yeah, we are learning. So
then why is this
Bible is.
Have you got anyone else beside that scholar?
Apart from Sheikh Al-Munajjid, no one that wants to stay on camera.
Have you got anyone else from 7th, 8th century that I can go back to?
There is, but I don't want to stay on camera. I can tell you off the camera if you genuinely want to learn.
Yeah.
It's for the viewers. I'll tell you off when the camera's off. I'll tell you.
I'll hang up mine. Okay, make sure you give me that name. So,
Of course.
let me ask you a very basic question then, on a different topic.
Okay.
Since we can't conclude the shin of Allah regarding disagreeing with you are disagreeing with the Sahih Bukhari and Muhammad.
No, I didn't disagree. I said that.
In that case, we are saying Allah has a
I didn't
shin.
comment on that matter.
Okay, Allah has a shin, changing his shape and form on last day. People are going to recognize him in his shin, but we need to read more scholars. Correct? We need to read your scholars. So,
Right.
My next question is, why Surah 115 and 116 is not in the current Quran?